Questionsfordutch@gmail.com is the email you write to submit your poser to the Dirty Dutchman himself. And here is the first one, Dutch. It is from Troy. Hello, from Tennessee. My name is Troy, and I'm an announcer in Tennessee. I helped Dutch move once, apparently. Apparently, someone helped you move once.
I know him, yes.
There you go. Please let him know. That's sort of irrelevant because you're already doing well. Also, per your conversation with Stevie, here is a reminder to ask Dutch what the temperature in Memphis was like when Lawler started doing the King gimmick. Now, Dutch, this relates to something that I said that I thought you told me. And it was when Elvis died. And then you said when Elvis died, then Jerry Lawler started ratcheting up the King character and saying, well, I was the... Tell us the whole story about when Elvis died and Jerry's reaction.
It was the week after. I mean, Memphis came apart when... I was in Florida when Elvis died. I remember this. But Memphis came apart at the seams. And Elvis was no sooner in the ground that Saturday morning rolled around, and there's come Lawler out in the suits that the King wore, you know, the blousy pant leg, and he dressed up like a king, and he said, everybody's sad because the King's dead. I'm not dead. I'm right here. I'm King Jerry Lawler, and put a crown on. Brother, he had heat out the yazoo. Now, in a lot of ways, it was the wrong type of heat, but Lawler didn't care. He used it. Elvis was a huge wrestling fan because he would watch it every Saturday morning from, what's the name of his place?
Oh, I had it in my mind. Graceland.
Graceland. He would watch
on his
it every
3 TVs.
Yeah, he'd watch it, and you know how he died, right?
Yeah, shit himself to death on the toilet. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, he had a heart attack on the toilet. He went in there and he was taking all those pills, I guess, and he was. Now, this is something for a health. This is a great podcast when we talk about what was wrong with him. I was going to say, let's forget about the constipated Elvis thing, but he died sitting on the toilet watching wrestling.
But I probably said this on the show before, but when you get in your mind's eye, because everyone's thought about this with Elvis dying on the toilet, you are imagining him in his white jumpsuit, aren't you?
No.
Of course you are.
I am not.
Well, you gold lame jacket like 55.
Maybe his crown on. He could be sitting there with just underwear and a t-shirt and the crown on. That's what I'm getting. So,
when did Jerry first proclaim himself the King of Memphis? Because wasn't this the feud with Jackie? No. That was Elvis, but wasn't he feuding with Jackie Fargo some years earlier? Yeah.
Fargo was the big baby face there, and Fargo owned the. He was over, big time over, and he'd say Pally, but. And he was over like a son of a gun. Now they had a lot of great heels there. One of them was, let me think of his name.
It was Tojo?
No, he's a blonde-headed guy, Monroe.
Sputnik
Monroe. And he probably did more for race relations in Memphis than anybody else, because they had a lot of big civil rights leaders come out of Memphis. So he told them, and he did an interview on TV, and he said, I'm not coming back to Memphis till my black friends can buy a ticket on the main floor. Brother, those black people, they come out and they bought those tickets, and they love Sputnik Monroe, even though he's supposed to be a big heel. And even when I got there, still the tickets were cheaper upstairs. So, your top floor would be mostly black, and then downstairs, it would be mixed. But they loved the heels. You know, they didn't. Some of the baby faces they liked, but more or less, you know, the black people were the fans for the heels. So we played to them, and they didn't disappoint. Great fans too, by the way.
I don't think you've ever really talked about Jackie Fargo on this show, or Don. I don't think you mentioned either of the Fargos, particularly.
Oh, big stars in Memphis, huge stars. See, I think they're on channel. They ended up their run, and they probably, I don't know how long they kept it, but they started at channel 13 in Memphis. And then I think Lance Russell was with 13, and they moved, and they went to 5, and then Lance Russell followed them over to 5. He would read the news. And then on Saturday, he would do the wrestling show, him and Dave Brown. And everybody knew them. And you know Dave Brown doesn't do interviews.
No, I know.
He doesn't do any interviews, but everybody knows him. I saw a deal the other night, you know, the wrestling thing. What is the basketball team's name in Memphis? The Memphis what?
Grizzlies, is it?
The Grizzlies.
Why are you asking me for basketball stuff? And I know it as well.
Because I cannot remember it. I've been hit on the head too many times.
I don't know anything about basketball. No, it's Memphis Grizzlies.
But you know, they have a deal where they have like a wrestling show like twice a year. And I saw it the other night, and they just had one.
Mm.
It's like an intermission thing. It's like one match. And the people really like it. And because they keep bringing it back. So I saw just a clip of it, and one guy jumped off the balcony and did a big dive and on top of the guy, and the people went, wow, and they like it. So, but I think they're the only NBA basketball team that does a wrestling connection.